For me, opportunity in driving forward a procurement strategy, it comes down to the process, the people, and the technology. So let's focus on the people. You need the right people in your team that are best aligned to doing the right job, whether that's managing relationships with suppliers, whether that's running sourcing activities, whether that is the data. There's a big influx of good data coming to procurement now, thanks to technology. So you need the right people that can understand that data and turning it into meaningful insight. The process, it's all about making sure that procurement is there best to support the business. So you've got to come up with processes that will allow that. So if the business has objectives around sustainability, making sure you have a process for how sustainability is embedded in what you're delivering as procurement. If your business objectives are around mitigating cost increases or trying to deliver cost savings, then making sure your process is around that. On the technology side of things, there's some fantastic bits of kit out there, so it's looking at where technology can best help with your procurement strategy. Again, if it comes down to automation, if it comes down to your sourcing and supplier management, if it's in understanding the sort of sustainability agenda, using third-party risk assessment tools and things like that. So technology has a huge role to play. And all of this drives good data. And with that good data, your procurement strategy can be measured, that it is actually delivering, but equally you can continually refine and improve your strategy as time goes on.
Procurement has the ability to gather data, either directly or indirectly, from suppliers as a part of the sourcing process and as a part of your category management process, that then can give you data for things like market trends, can really become a baseline for benchmarking. And that in turn, again, surrounded by the right tools that let you access data from your suppliers, let you receive data from your suppliers, and do so in a pretty seamless and not labor-intensive fashion, then lets you be agile.
Equally, I think engaging suppliers is really key. A lot of intellectual knowledge is locked up inside suppliers, just ready for businesses to unlock by just engaging with suppliers better. Meeting with your key strategic suppliers, quarterly, and sharing what your challenges are, and just putting that forward to the supplier to say, well, where can you fit within these challenges I'm facing? I think many suppliers are very prepared to have that conversation.
In really simple terms, I think technology has the ability to completely change the role of procurement and transform the way we do things and how we think about them. So maybe in the past we would have thought about a typical procurement organisation having category managers and buyers, and people would be working away on their strategies, and then we progressed a bit and we got the internet and people would go away and do their internet research and go and sort of pull stuff out. Now we are in a world where we are data rich, with almost too much data. We now have solutions that are bringing that data to us in more of a structured form. So it's really about how do you use technology to shift the focus and really transform, whether it's a category manager's job or even change the roles within procurement. Again, a recent discussion with people, if you'd said to people 10 years ago, where you'll have data scientists in a procurement team, they would have looked at you rather quizzically and said, come on, this is not University Challenge, this is just procurement, isn't it, surely? So I think those things are really important. So there's part of it which is an efficiency play, there's part of it which is a data play, and then there's part of it which is quite unsettling for people who are sat in procurement, which is there's technology that can just replace your role. So autonomous negotiation and those sorts of things can come into play. And maybe they replace, or maybe they enhance. And ultimately, that's the role that technology has to play, which is you can do more with the same or less human resource. So more for less, in simple terms.
Where I think the real role of technology and the real benefit of technology for procurement is in terms of how does procurement bring greater value, continuing to expand the value proposition that procurement brings to an organization, to the company, to the stakeholders. It's about that total cost of ownership, which is much more than can I reduce purchase price on an individual item, on an individual order. It's really about total value. And that value also includes things like, how do I manage risk for the organization? And technology, I think, in my experience, and it may be a phrase that I've heard from somebody, so I apologize if I'm quoting something here. Technology done right, for me, means that you are bringing increasingly added value to an organization while managing the risk, and all the while staying nimble and agile enough to meet changing corporate goals and changing industry and external being able to respond agilely to external factors in your marketplace and in your supply chain.
There are absolutely some tools that help support your strategy and implementing that strategy, and doing so in a way that just brings professionalism to everything you're doing, that therefore makes you look very capable. I think many departments would be a bit concerned if procurement didn't have any tools or technology to support what they were doing, because let's face it, in all other departments they massively rely on technology. If you're finance, you have some fantastic accounting systems. If you're sales, you have some brilliant CRM systems. So I think tools and technology is absolutely essential for procurement to come across as professional, and also to free up time for procurement to focus less on the administrative, pushing paper around type delivery, and more onto the strategic, more onto the relationship management, and having a close alignment with your different stakeholders on what they need from you.
On my side, as I have a strategical team and I'm not managing the operational process, as it's completely decentralized. We have two main KPI. I would say it's the coverage that we have. Are we able to cover a good percentage of all the categories per year? And then for sure the savings that we get at the end of the year. So I would say these are the two main KPI. But in order to have a better operation, in order to ensure compliance, and in order to ensure that we will get these savings, because we always present like theoretical savings when we finish a project, but the key thing is that how we can ensure that these savings are becoming a reality in the accounts.
Three things, I think. First, customer satisfaction. So if you've done that upfront analysis of what do people think of my procurement team, where are we now compared with where we were before, you can have the best numbers in the world, but if people aren't happier, all you've got are better numbers, and that's not going to be a sustainable solution. That said, second thing, numbers. You've got to be able to measure your impact and say it's not just how people feel, but it's what have we delivered as an organisation. And when I think about that, yeah, cost savings are part of it. There's always the debate about we need to move beyond savings, but I don't think you very, very rarely find an organisation will say, we're not bothered at all about savings. And that's usually where procurement has so much impact on top line and on sales and on growth that's the primary focus. But again, it's a number. But also these non-financial things, so ESG, contribution to local communities, environmental improvement, some of those things that you can measure with numbers, those are important.